journey. So we are taking up the third sutra. We started with the natural state. I believe you all remember in this series that natural state is, yes, Sam has come. So that natural state is the kingdom of a God within us. So we also understood how that natural state is destroyed by the desires. So we understood the psychology of desires. Then we understood that how these Yoga Sutra is written, and we have to open up. We have to open the zip file so that there are many principles. The first sutra we understood that yoga is the highest state of mindfulness, but it is the characteristic of the mind. But the mind lives in 5 subjective states: lazy, crazy, obsessed. As long as this mind is lazy, crazy, and obsessed, forget about meditation. No possibility. So it means we have to prepare the mind to enter into a meditative state. So last 2 states, we can easily get absorbed into a meditative state. So what is that state means? That you live, work, think in that state of meditation. So understand, studying the books like a fiction and acquiring the knowledge and passing on that knowledge is an academic way. It is okay. Even that is better than doing nothing. But to contemplate and reflect on those principles in the sutras is very important to bring about a change in our life. So then we studied a couple of sessions. You know what we studied? Yoga is emptying the mind of its content. Do you remember that emptying the mind of not all the contents, but emptying the mind of its contents that causes the problem, that causes our stress and anxiety, duality, and a conflict. Now the third sutra. You see that 4 sutra completes the entire yoga. Yoga is a discipline and education of the mind. Yoga is emptying the content of the mind. So what is the result? That is the today's sutra. It says tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. When we empty the mind of its content, now the mind is acting like a transparent mirror, like a calm water in an ocean in a full moon light, and that moon reflects in the ocean. Then we can see that is what happens in the third sutra. When we empty the content of the mind, then the mind reflects our real nature. But how do we understand in daily life? Yeah? So my master used to tell us a story. There, in ancient India, we had maybe 200 kingly states. Means, we had more than 200 kingdoms. And there are good stories about good king who used to fake their appearance. They used to become a beggar and used to walk in the streets of their kingdom to find out where is the problem of my citizens. So one king in the garb of a beggar was walking, and the citizen recognized, "Oh king, what happened?" So king whispered in his ears, "Stop this nonsense. You do your work. Don't tell anyone that I am a king." and he used to collect all the challenges the citizens used to face, and he used to return his palace, and then he used to order. Now question is, we take a garb of an employee, employer, father, son all the time, provided we realize that we are a king. Do we really realize that we are a king? That king is our real nature. Once you realize your real nature, it is irreversible process. You cannot reverse it, even if you want to reverse it. So, king used to take a garb of a beggar, used to take a garb of a shopkeeper, used to take a garb of an employer, an employee, and used to understand. That is the way we have to live in this world. Continued, but provided, do you realize that you are the king? That's why how I remember, kingdom of God is within you. What we realize that we are beggars. Beggars means expectation. Beggars mean living in the first three states of the mind. That is the way. So the moment I wake up in the morning, ask yourself, am I the king? Or the mind is living in the first three states of lazy, crazy, and obsessed. Because if the mind is living in the first three states, early when you wake up in the morning, then it becomes a bad morning. Then you become upset. Then you have emotional upsets. Even Sam, appear in the interview, but appear in the interview like a king. Appear. You already know, that's why you have applied for a job. So I should focus on the knowledge I have in the state of calmness of the mind. Finished. So we have understood that we should not keep the mind that continues to trigger inside me, that causes the anxiety. What will happen? Nothing will happen. Nothing has happened in our life, if you see that. Whatever has to happen, it will happen. That is what we understood in the very first talk and practice, Uttama Sahajavrati. The mind should live in the natural state all the time. And by default, this mind is the king. This mind is the king. If you have no problem that causes the pain, pleasure, sorrow, happiness and reaction, attachment and detachment, then what is? Do you need any medicine? No. So what is the disease? Patanjali says later in other sutras that being upset, pleasure and sorrow, pain, attachment and detachment, anxiety, running after the things is nothing but like a fake disease. Do you know what is the medicine of a fake disease? One word is used as placebo. Yes, I saw the movement of Jari, placebo. So we have to use that placebo in the form of a practice until that fake disease is gone. Why Master says it is a fake disease in Gita? Because we don't see the reality. That is why I am anxious. I don't see the reality. That is why I experience the pain. And that is why Patanjali says, what it says, Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Swarupe. my essential nature. The moment the mind becomes empty, I settle in my essential nature. I realize my essential nature. I awaken to my essential nature. And what is that essential nature? Peace and happiness, love and wisdom overflows. Buddha once said that I cannot prevent myself to move with compassion, love. Why? Because he realized his essential nature. I remember one more thing. We use the word nirvana with reference to the Buddhist philosophy. What is the literal meaning of nirvana? You burn a candle, there is a flame, and you put off this flame. So what is the symbolic expression? The mind is running here and there, in anxiety, in duality, in a conflict. That is the flame. You put it off. The mind is gone. You enter into the highest state of meditation. We also understood in the previous talks, I remember, sa vidyaya vimuktaya. What happens in that meditation? The knowledge of the reality dawns. It reveals, I need not to think. And once the reality is revealed in the mind, and there is a spark, there is a glow, there is a light of that peace and happiness. I need not to chase it. We are a king. Question is, do I always remember that I am a king, or other choice? Do I live with the fake disease, or do I live with my reality? That is the meaning of this verse. What it means? That the real nature is always within us. That kingdom is always within us. There is another meaning also. You come to my house and I get upset. Point of awareness. Let me withdraw the mind inside me and tell the mind, you are responsible for sorrow and happiness. No one in the world can make you upset. So you raise your awareness, you move your mind from the laziness, craziness and obsession to the fourth state, and ultimately you realize that here is the reality. Now I give you some tweak and then we will start our practice. That real nature cannot be realized through the sense organs. If any object is in front of me, then only I realize what is that object. You all are in front of me, so I am aware of it and I have a knowledge. So this is known as a direct knowledge. The mind goes through the senses and acquires the knowledge of the object. If the object is not present before the sense organs, I cannot know the object. Are you clear on this point? Then I close my eyes and I think about atom. Where I am thinking? Mind. Atom consists of electron, proton and neutron. Sorry. And so what I'm thinking? I'm thinking in the mind. These thoughts are also present in the mind, but it is an indirect knowledge. Clear? Two types of knowledge. Sense organs gives us the knowledge of the world, The mind is also an instrument of knowledge that gives me the knowledge of the phenomena, material phenomena, the objective reality. So one master I used to go, he says, find out that your mind should stop acquiring the knowledge of the world outside, neither through the sense organs nor through the mind. Then what will happen to the mind? Mind will say, when you say that I should not use my mind to acquire the knowledge, then no thoughts, no objects. Then what happens? Objectless state. And what is that objectless state? Is meditation. I am aware. Only there is a awareness. Now see that what is our real nature. It is here and now. That is what we are studying in Saturday's session. So we have to compare our mind, how our mind responds. Do you say that I am means I exist? Don't allow the mind to bring in any thought that I am Sam, I am Lara. No, I am. Still I am. Clear? Now the second part is I know I am. So there are two things. I am is known as existence. I know I am. I know I am. What is this? This is knowledge, this is consciousness, this is awareness. Are you getting it? I am, only I am. Not I am Girish, I am Jerry, I am Lara. So the moment you add something, that knowledge, name and the shape and the size and the profession, all comes from the mind. Hold on the mind. I am, I exist. Second part. I know I am. So that knowing is consciousness, awareness, knowledge, sensation, experience. We use different words in different times. I know. First is I am. Then only I say I know I am. And third is little tricky. Who is this I am? I am is pure consciousness and awareness. Because that I am is all pervading. That I am is only one thing that exists. Means what? When I see this even deeper inside, it is I am. Lara, I am. There is a non-dual consciousness. There is only one entity that exists behind the appearances. Then what will happen? Then I am of the nature of Ananda. If there is no two, then if there are two, then only the conflict appears. Then only we say, I am a man, you are a woman, I am smarter than you, I am. But now that non-dual state of the knowledge and the consciousness, this is the meaning of real nature. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Existence, consciousness, bliss. Last part I think I talked about it. Ananda. Nanda means joy, and if we add prefix, it means that joy is coming from all the sides, in all the directions, at all the time, because I see the reality, the real self within me. It is your nature that you are angry. It is my nature that I am in Ananda. Can you make a difference? I am dictated by the mind because of the trigger coming from the outside causes the fake disease. We have to get rid of this fakeness. How it comes? Because of the three states. lazy, crazy, and obsessed mind. The last two states of the mind can alone help us to live into that state of meditation 24/7. And this is within me, after all. This is within me. My master used to say, are we king? And once you are king inside, you will remain king. But the moment that king goes into the world, it has many appearances. But you never forget that you are a king. That is the realization of our true nature. So, we will practice and then we will share our experiences. So, let us start our journey. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed. Can we pick up this and reflect for a while? I am. Eyes are closed. Say to yourself, I am, and become aware. The moment I say become aware, it means I know I am. You see how simple it is. In this session, I am converting this session as if it is a Saturday's session. I am. I know I am. So that I am is beyond body, breath, mind, intellect, ego, thought pattern. I got rid of the first three crazy states of the mind. And then I know I am in bliss, ananda. I don't want to use bliss because bliss has been linked to a lot of crazy stuff. Now look at the body. So the king is looking at the appearance. Do you see that whatever I discuss, I always make all the best possible to translate that talk, that principle into practice. So what did I say? The king is looking at the body. But in a normal language, we say, look at the body, as if I am looking at the body, and that I am is the body, and the body is looking at the body. No, king is looking at the body. Walking into the streets of his kingdom, the king never reveals his nature. So that is the way you look at the body and you become aware. And in that awareness, you experience the steadiness. Why? King is already inside and you look at the king. What did I say? You look inside the heart, in the space, and in that space, I won't say use the word trick, but that is the device every teacher uses based on the teaching. So when I say look inside the heart, looking into the space, and then pick up a point in the space. So one guy attending private session, and I have been saying it for the last 5 months. So last week he said, what the hell you are talking about? That point is the space itself, and the space is a point. And I said, definitely, 100%. We get that experience. Even though I say looking into the space at a point, and that point is a spark of calmness. So if your mind leaves everything outside, you realize it is the point, is the space, and the space is the point. The mind settles, withdraws itself inside. That is the key. It is not by thought process. It happens, you know it, you experience it. In that state, when you chant and recite this mantra, it transforms your mind. One more thing today. That point becomes the word, phrases, language. But now what is the striking point? This word has a shape, but the very sound does not have a space. Can I become aware of it? And that is why we have started the 3-pointed process. Singing and listening. So what happens? That listening takes your mind to a state of objectlessness. That is the secret. Singing and listening, the first line, Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. 3 times. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Listening, singing and listening. Now singing, listening and meaning. So that meaning further takes you to a state of objectless. That is why you have been enjoying it. So when you have a right knowledge, the practice also becomes right. So swastir, well-being. Can you show me the shape of a well-being? No shape. Remember again, my friends, it's a subtle point. So when it does not have a shape, then it cannot become the object of the mind. So the mind goes into something beyond itself. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Meaning, well-being. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Now applied knowledge. That state of the well-being is present all the time. The mind makes us a beggar. We start searching the well-being. First, start searching in the objects, in the shape, in the name, in the form, and the mind becomes crazy. I understand. I believe you have understood. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Second line, singing and listening. Now you have understood the subtle points here. Singing and listening, sound. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Singing, listening and meaning, peace. Do you remember? I explained you what is that peace? Good space. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Singing, listening, meaning and wisdom, applied knowledge, peace. So when there is no object, at that point we come in contact with that infinite peace within. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Third line, Purnam. Singing and listening. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Singing, listening, and meaning. Meaning of Purnam is completeness. I'm complete. You don't see the word outside. Whatever is changing can never be complete. That is why it is changing. So the moment the mind picks up, oh, this is changing, not me. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Singing, listening, meaning, and the knowledge. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Let the mind help you to know Purnam, King. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Fourth line, magic happens. That is how I'm going to explain you. First singing and listening only. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Mangalam means auspicious. Auspicious. Let us go with that meaning. Every moment, every action, every thought is auspicious. And then we will create a magic in the third level. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Singing, listening, meaning, and the wisdom. What is that wisdom? When the mind is aware of well-being, peace, and completeness, that creates an auspicious moment in every thought, speech, action, relationship, working, not working, sleep. Every moment becomes auspicious. Means what? From moment to moment. This moment, next moment, next moment, next moment, next moment. It has an element of completeness, element of peace, element of well-being. You talk, auspiciousness. Think, auspiciousness. See that. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. And now sing, listen, mean, and with the knowledge Om Shanti 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 3 times by yourself. This step is a part of Nada Yoga, Nada meditation. So as you know that I combine MERS, different steps to hasten, to accelerate the process. And now, start breathing deep, silent and slow. That is your car. Driver is the mind and the highway is the space inside. Check the rhythm and the rate of the breath is equal. And now start moving the mind inside the right arm when you inhale from the shoulder to the fingertips. In the space, looking in the space, when the breath returns, the mind moves with the breath inside the right arm from the fingertips to the shoulder. We'll understand the deeper step of the nyasa, which is perfectly natural. But at present, we are helping the mind to live with and in the prana. Now moving the mind inside the left arm. As you move, this is basically one part of the Tantra tradition, and which has been borrowed by the Hatha Yoga. Whenever we change the breathing pattern. Continue moving the mind with the breath, which is a car, and highway in the space. Now inside the right leg. My master used to say that if we continue to do it, we find different states of the consciousness. First, the mind recognizes it is like a bud. Then that bud opens up its petals and then it blossoms. It sends its fragrance. In that state, not only we transcend the body and the mind continues to live within in a purified state. Now inside the left leg. When the mind goes with the prana, that prana drops that sleeping and unconscious in the crazy state of the mind. Then we see the bud that grows and that awakens a new state of consciousness. There are many ways to understand this. Now inside the spine, from the crown of the head to the tailbone, as you inhale, you see the space inside, and as you exhale, the mind is also moving with exhalation from the tailbone inside the spine in the space reaches to the crown of the head. Now leave this, will totally move in the state of passivity. Head in the neck will follow 3S. Head in the neck, the space all around the head and the neck, as if the sphere of the space is covering the head and the neck. And then move the mind from the space to the shape of the head and the neck. And from the shape, the sensation. Space, shape, sensation. Right arm. We have to become aware if the mind, we have to use the mind. So in front of the mind, right arm. Cylindrical space covering the right arm. And that cylindrical space we leave. We find the shape, then sensation. And we may see the sensation deepens instantly. Why? We'll understand. Left arm, the space all around. Cylindrical space is the bag in which the left arm is contained. Then the shape, sensation. Rib cage in the sphere of the space all around. Shape, sensation. Belly, the space all around. Shape, sensation. Right leg, cylindrical space all around. Shape, sensation. When the mind is obstinate, doesn't want to leave the body, then the body moves. It may be because of some challenges in the body. We have created trillions of impressions. But by regular practice, that is done. Left leg, the space all around. Shape, sensation. The entire body is also in the cylindrical space. You see, the moment the mind creates that cylindrical space and it perceives what happens, mind naturally says goodbye to the world outside. But that state comes by practice. And from the space we move to the shape of the body. From the shape we experience sensation in the body. You'll be amazed if you do the practice regularly. You will find this sensation takes over the space all around you. at a distance of sometime 1 meter, 2 meters. So look at the head and the neck again. Reference point. What we experience, space, shape, sensation, and then experience the stillness in the body, in the head and the neck. So our emphasis today is on that discovery of the stillness in the body, not off the body. Right arm, space, shape, sensation, stillness. Left arm, space, shape, sensation, stillness. Rib cage, space, shape, sensation, stillness. Belly, space, shape, sensation, stillness. Right leg, space, shape, sensation, stillness. Any identification of the mind with the body triggers the body. And that identification is ignorance, and the ignorance causes suffering. Doesn't mean that we have to leave the body. Left leg, space, shape, sensation, stillness. Entire body. From entire body, the cylindrical space, shape, sensation, stillness. What is beyond that stillness? We, as if we experience the sensation inside the body, we find the infinite space in the body. So that sensation which is totally inside the body, I refer it as the state of calmness. It is budding, that we are able to move the mind within. That is why the mind is aware of that sensation. And even that state of the calmness, we find the infinite, endless space within is the state of quietness. So first thing, the quiet mind is the happy mind. In that state, now see, I explained you, bud opens up, petals, and then blossoms. That is what we do in the next step, casually, free from any change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. In that state, you casually move the mind from the crown of the head to the belly button. And in between, Om, casually you say. And Om going up from the belly button to the crown of the head. When the mind with the Om drops inside, and if the belly button, that center, is ready, the mind spreads, expands, gives us new experiences. When Om rises, it means it is budding, it is growing, it is blossoming. Because it wants to meet its master, the real nature. Lessen the area Om to the heart, from the heart to the crown Om, but the mind continues to move into that state of calmness and quietness. Right? Doesn't pick up any object. So we give a chance to the mind to transcend itself. Om. Om. Doing nothing, remain as you are. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand. Feel the sensation, a change. Bring the mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms. Place it on your eyes. That is how we return from meditation. And know your experiences. Bring the hands down. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. I had another, it was more of a darker experience, more in-depth. I had another experience where, I was definitely conscious, but I had no desire or ability to move any of the parts of my body again, which was
beautiful.
Interesting again. Yeah, it's happened a few times, and it's almost like, I don't know if anybody's ever had sleep paralysis before, like when you wake up but your body's still asleep. So it's kind of like that. It was great.
Yeah. Sleep paralysis. I'll not use that word.
Yeah.
But that's a deeper experience.
Yeah.
Very good. How are you, my friend Lara? How are you, Lara?
I'm good. I didn't do the last part. It was a good experience. It was kind of a lot.
You closed your eyes and your computer muted your sound.
Okay, I'm having technical problems. So I got really deep.
Good.
At the beginning, and the breath was coming in out of the heart, and then it was when we went to go do the Nyasa, all of a sudden I felt like my arm blew up like a balloon. My body was like kind of blown up. Sort of this interesting sensation.
Quite deeper in experience. You see that you can pick up any practice to give. That is in that book. But that's the beautiful. I think it is happening. We can go deeper. How are you, Stephen?
I am good. A very quiet, calm, and I would say deep meditation. Each stage as we went through, I felt that I was well aware of the fact that I was getting deeper and deeper within my meditation. Right to the point that I actually started humming the Om Shanti in my head seconds before you actually started doing it. So it was just this whole sense of just following down this path.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, I knew I reached as far as I needed to go, and it was time to come back. And the Om Shanti started bringing me back out of meditation. So
that is beautiful. One point worth mentioning, that the mind now is deeply interested in following the steps. So that mind has an intense aspiration to reach to that state. It is beautiful. How are you, David and Jerry?
Yeah, my experience was almost identical to Stephen's. It was firstly, I really enjoyed the message at the beginning, and then with every stage, I guess, I just got deeper and deeper and deeper, and then when we did the shapes on, around the limbs, it got really cold.
Cold, yeah.
And I too, like kind of Stephen, just before you started to do the Shanti Om Shanti rather, I got a thought in my head going, I get to sing this in a second or something like that. It was really
That's good. That's a good idea. That's really a good experience. The mind is ready and it is naturally focused to go deeper and find the reality. That is really wonderful. That's a sign of a good meditation. So how are you, Jerry?
I'm doing well, sir. It was quiet and still as far as new experiences or different experiences. I felt the smiling and lightness, and also felt very rooted, but yet expansive, like much larger than my body.
Yes.
And then when we started the oming, it got very dark.
Very dark. That's a deeper. Smiling part also conveys the same thing, that I'm perfectly comfortable, at ease, and I'm continuing the journey. That also shows the deeper. How are you, Terry? Always ask yourself during the day, am I a king? Sam, am I a king or? So, how are you, Terry?
During the practice, there were three things that came to my mind. One was that I had been really thinking a lot about words, and today, that was a little bit in the theme of today's talk in the beginning. I had also been thinking about I was going to ask that where is the space was really bothering me, but you addressed that today.
Good.
That thing about the point was very helpful to me. And I had with the thing about the word the king, I had to change it to the queen for it to work for me.
Beautiful.
I got there was, since king is a man, I was having to sort of switch it over to make it into myself. Even though that's not really the meaning of it. It has a meaning that Stephen Brooks said.
Yeah.
So I just switched it over and then it worked. It was okay.
That's,
other than that, I just, I think I need to just do this again.
Do this again and practice and practice. No, we can see that, if the mind is ready, body may have lot of challenges. So majority of the people escape. Oh, what is this practice? Crazy. Because the mind is too much identified with the body. So here, she is able to de-identify in every practice. You see that this is what the Ashtavakra and this on Saturday's meditation, we have more or less the same principle. So when someone asks, can you take care of my problem? It doesn't go the way science goes. It goes with the mind and the mental state which is totally committed. So in spite of those challenges, she has the smile. She explains objectively. That is a great message for all of us. I would say it is just the other way around. In fact, she is teaching us. Come on, in spite of all the challenges, I can continue and I can reach to that state. Do you see that? So remember the king. You can remember, you all remember, what is that phrase Jesus says? Oh, kingdom of God is within us. But that very kingdom, the Patanjali goes a step further. The very kingdom is what? Peace, happiness, love and wisdom is me. It is not different from the king. And then we live our life daily. Any question that you like to ask? Terry has touched it, and I think we will go a little deeper. There is just out of the in Tantra there is known as a specific tradition which is also Kashmir Shaivism, and it is Rudra Yamal Tantra, something like that. There are 64 schools of thought in Tantra. Means 64 different principles. They go differently. So in one of them they say that you do nothing, looking at the breath. So we have chains of breath in pranayama only in Hatha Yoga, not even by Patanjali. So in Tantra tradition we say just look at the breath. And what happens when you keep looking at the breath, like in Buddhism, but a little different with the mantra, you realize that your mind picks up, say for example, the heart. Now you continue, you find that something grows in size. Something grows in size. And that is what the prana is. First it grows inside and then it starts lifting upward. We need not to lift it. It goes in the top and then it descends the peace and happiness, love and wisdom. It is little deeper, or I would say we have to perform lot of steps before we reach there. We make the breath totally free. And what is the method here? I say Om. So Om has a shape and the size. But the moment I say Om, that sound does not have a shape and the size. Are you getting it? So that sound is known as nada. And the nada comes from the prana. And that prana awakens our center. Now I'm returning again to, somewhat Kundalini, but in a different way. Not the way it is being practiced here. So we'll pick up. That is all. Thank you. Lara, thank you, returning again for listening my gossip.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.